नारायणं पद्मभुवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यं श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तमलकं च शिष्यं तन्तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यान् अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि. So Purvapakshi said that he has avidya. Mamaiva avidya. Then Siddhanti asked Purvapakshi, then you know that avidya and the Atma who has the avidya. Then Purvapakshi says, Janami natu pratyakshena. I know, but not pratyakshena. Then Siddhanti is asking once again, Siddhanti is asking, Anumanena chejjanasi katham sambandhagrahanam. If you know the avidya by means of anumana, then how you have ascertained the sambandha, the relation between avidya and Atma? Anumanena avidyam janasi chet. If you know avidya through anumana, then how sambandha grahana? How do you know the relation between avidya and Atma? Siddhanti explains this. See, through anumana, one cannot know the sambandha between avidya and Atma, because Atma is jnata. Jnata cannot know the sambandha with the jneya through anumana. See, he explains why the sambandha grahana is not possible. Nahi tavajñātuhu ज्ञेयभूतया अविद्यया तत्काले सम्बन्धो ग्रहीतुं शक्यते अविद्यायाः विषयत्वेनैव ज्ञातुः उपयुक्तत्वात्. तव ज्ञातुः, you are the jnata, and avidya is jneya. ज्ञेयभूतया अविद्यया सहा, with the avidya which is jneya, tatkale, at the same time, at the time of anumana, anumana kale, sambandha grahitum na shakyate. The sambandha cannot be known. The sambandha between Atma and avidya cannot be known while doing the anumana. Why? Avidyayaah vishayatvenaiva jnatuhu upayuktatvat. Because while doing the anumana, the avidya is there as vishaya. Avidyayaah jnatuhu vishayatvena eva upayuktatvat. The avidya is engaged as the vishaya, the object of the jnata, knower. So avidya is vishaya, and the sambandha of the jnata and vishaya cannot be known by the jnata. Avidya is vishaya. You are the jnata. Avidya is vishaya. Therefore, the sambandha with the vishaya cannot be known by the jnata. So the same jnata who sees the avidya, the jnata for whom avidya is vishaya, he cannot know the sambandha between jnata and himself. The avidya and himself. Then Purva Pakshi may say, let us say another jnata is there who knows the sambandha. Then Siddhanti says it is not possible. Nacha jnatuhu avidyayascha sambandhascha yograhita jnanancha anyat tad vishayam sambhavati anavastha praptehe. So jnatuhu avidyayascha yaha sambandha, the sambandha between jnata and avidya, tasya grahita, another grahita, anyah grahita, another knower who knows the sambandha between jnata and avidya. If there is another grahita, another jnata, then that means we should have another jnana also. Jnanancha anyat tadvishayam. Tadvishayam means sambandha vishayam anyat jnanam. Another jnana which deals with the sambandha vishayam na sambhavati. It is not possible. Why? Anavastha praptehe, because it will lead to anavastha, regress ad infinitum. Because, see, this is a jnaya. Avidya is a jnaya. The jnaya avidya is known by jnata one, let us say. Jnata one knows jnaya avidya. But this jnata one cannot know the sambandha between avidya and jnata one. Let us say it is sambandha one. The sambandha between avidya and jnata one is called sambandha one. Now this sambandha one cannot be known by jnata one. Then who will know that? You have to accept another jnata, jnata two. Jnata two knows sambandha one. And the jnata two will have another jnana also. Jnana two. The knowledge of avidya is jnana one. Knowledge of sambandha is jnana two. Jnana two belongs to jnata two. So jnata two knows the sambandha one. Then you have to ask, who will know the sambandha between, now the sambandha between jnata two and sambandha one. Because sambandha one is the jnaya of jnata two. Sambandha one is the object of jnata two. And then there will be sambandha two. Sambandha two is the relation between jnata two and sambandha one. It is sambandha two. Who will know the Sambandha 2? You will bring a Jnata 3. Then there will be Sambandha 3. Who will know Sambandha 3? Jnata 4. Like that, it will lead to an infinite regress. That is what he says. So, ज्ञातुः अविद्यायाश्च सम्बन्धस्य यः ग्रहीता. Another grahita, another jnata, who knows the sambandha between jnata and avidya, which is sambandha 1, then he will have to accept another jnana, jnanam cha anyat, jnana 2, tadvishayam, which deals with the sambandha 1. Na sambhavati, we cannot accept, because anavastha praptehe, because it will lead to anavastha. यदि ज्ञात्रा अपि ज्ञेय संबंधो ज्ञायते ज्ञायेता. If the jnata knows the jneya sambandha, if the jnata can know the sambandha between himself and jneya, then anyah jnata kalpyah syat, then we will have to accept another jnata. So he is explaining the anavastha. Tasyapi anyah, then you will have to accept another jnata. Tasyapi anyah, then you will have to accept another jnata. Iti anavastha apariharya. This kind of anavastha, anavastha means regress ad infinitum. You don't stop anywhere. This anavastha is apariharya. It cannot be avoided. Therefore, you cannot accept that the sambandha is known by the jnata by means of anumana. Yadi punaha avidya jneya, if avidya is jneya, anyadva jneyam, or anything else is jneya, avidya or sambandha or whatever is jneya, jneyameva, it is just jneya. The jneya cannot be jnata. Tatha jnata api jnata eva. Likewise, jnata is just jnata. Na jneyam bhavati. Jnata cannot become jneya. And if jnata cannot become jneya, then if jnata cannot become jneya, then the sambandha of the jnata is also not jneya. Because if you have to know the sambandha, you have to know the two sambandhis also. If you have to know the sambandha, you should know the two sambandhis. Without knowing the two sambandhis, sambandha cannot be known. Now, among if you have to know the sambandha between avidya and jnata, you should know both avidya and jnata. Both avidya and jnata should be jneya, which is not the fact. Jnata can never become jneya. Therefore, jnatuhu jneyasya cha sambandhaha, it cannot be known. Yadacha evam, when it is so means there is no sambandha between avidya and jnata. Between avidya and kshetrajna, the sambandha cannot be established. Because pratyaksha pramana cannot establish the sambandha. Already Siddhanti has shown. Likewise, anumana pramana also cannot establish the sambandha between avidya and jnata. Therefore, there is no pramana which proves that there is a sambandha between avidya and jnata. If there is no sambandha between avidya and jnata, even the effect of avidya and jnata cannot belong to the kshetrajna. Therefore, kshetrajna is free from avidya as well as its effects. Yadacha evam, when it is so, avidya dukkhitvadyaihi, on account of avidya and dukkhitva, samsara, etc., jnatuh kshetrajnasya kinchit na dushyati. Jnata, who is the kshetrajna, nothing is disturbed, na kinchit dushyati. Nothing is impurified, nothing is polluted as far as kshetrajna is concerned, by means because of avidya and its effect. Therefore, kshetrajna is asamsari, essentially asamsari. Therefore, the kshetrajnasya samsaritva is avidyakrita, and it is not real. Avidya itself cannot be real. See, if you analyze this bhashya, Siddhanti has pointed out that even avidya cannot be real. Because if avidya has to be somewhere, it should be located somewhere. Where it will be located? It cannot be located in anatma. Anatma is jada. Jada cannot have avidya. Therefore, what remains is atma. But Bhashyakara has shown that atma cannot have a sambandha with avidya. That means avidya is mithya. That is why, in reality, avidya does not belong to anyone. That is why Shankaracharya says, whose avidya? He does not say avidya belongs to me or you. One who asks so, avidya belongs to him. That means avidya is mithya. As long as you think there is avidya, it is there. So, now Purvapakshi is asking once again, Nanu ayameva doshaha yat doshavat kshetra vijñātritvam na vijñānasvarupasyaiva avikriyasya vijñātritvopacharat yatha uष्णतामात्रेण अग्नेः तप्तिक्रियोपचारः तद्वत् यथा अत्र भगवता क्रियाकारकफलात्मत्वाभावः आत्मनि स्वत एव दर्शितः अविद्याध्यारोपित एव क्रियाकारकादिः आत्मनि उपचर्यते तथा तत्र तत्र य एनं वेत्ति हन्तारम् प्रकृतेः क्रियमाणानि गुणैः कर्माणि सर्वशः नादत्ते कस्यचित् पापम् इत्यादि प्रकारेषु दर्शितः इत्यादि प्रकरणेषु दर्शितः तथैव च व्याख्यातमस्माभिः उत्तरेषु च प्रकरणेषु दर्शयिष्यामः. So Atma is jnata, kshetrajna is jnata, and the jnata is not polluted by the avidya, because there is no sambandha between jnata and avidya. Then Purvapakshi says, even if there is no sambandha, just by being the jnata of avidya and its karya, kshetrajna can be samsari. Even without any sambandha, just by being the seer of avidya, the kshetrajna can be samsari. Sometimes just seeing is enough. If you see a tragedy movie, you start crying, even though you have no sambandha. See, nanu ayameva doshaha. This is the dosha. What is the dosha? Yad doshavat kshetra vijñātratvam. Doshavat kshetrasya vijñātratvam. The kshetrajna, being the knower of the kshetra, which is doshavat, which has all impurities, that itself is dosha of kshetrajna, and that is enough to cause him samsara. Then Siddhanti says, it is not so. No, it is not so, because the vijñātratva of kshetrajna does not mean he has some action called knowing. Vijñātratva of the kshetrajna should not be understood as bhoktritva. It is not like you watching a tragedy movie. When you watch a tragedy movie, you become the bhokta. There is modification in you, in the mind. But in the case of kshetrajna, there is no modification. Therefore, when we say kshetrajna is the vijñāta, we don't mean to say kshetrajna is the bhokta. He is the vijñāta without bhoktritva. Therefore, he is not affected by the doshas of the kshetra. That is the answer. No, why the kshetrajna does not have bhoktritva? Because he is free from modifications. If it has to be a bhokta, then there should be some modification. Whereas the kshetrajna does not have any modification. He is just illumining. And if he is just illumining, even vijñāta, this word is not true in its primary sense. Knower, even this word cannot be used in its primary sense. Because in primary sense, in what way we use knower? The knower means the bhokta, one who has some modification. But in the case of kshetrajna, knower is not in his primary sense. He is just the consciousness, pure consciousness. Therefore, even the word knower is used in a secondary sense. There is no action called knowing. There is no modification called knowing. See, therefore, Bhashyakara says, he is a vijnana swabhavaha. The consciousness is his nature. Vijnana swarupasya eva. He is a vijnana swarupa. The consciousness is his swarupa. Avikriyasya, and he is avikriya, free from modification. And in such kshetrajna, vijñātritva, the status of being a knower, it is just an upachara. It is just a figurative usage. Vijñātritva upacharat. Vijñātritva is just an upachara. The knower status is just an upachara. It is not in his primary sense. He gives an example. Yatha, just as Ushnata matrena agnehe tapti kriyopacharaha. See, we have the usage. Fire burns. Fire scorches. But in fact, fire does not do an action called burning. It is the nature of the fire. Fire is hot. It is fire's nature. But when we come in contact with the fire, we say the fire is burning me. Fire does not do an action called burning you. It is the nature. And anything that comes in contact with the fire, it gets burned. It's not that fire is burning. You get burned because of the heat of the fire. Likewise, the Atma is just illumining, just shining, because he is shining nature. There is no action in Atma called knowing or anything. So, Ushnata matrena, just because of the heat of the fire, Agnehe tapti kriyopacharaha. In Agni, tapti kriya, the action called burning or scorching, it is upacharaha. It is a figurative usage. Tadvat, similarly, in the case of Atma, the Vijñātritva, Atma is a knower, it is just an upachara. Yeah. He does not do an action called knowing. See, there is a difference between an individual knowing and Atma knowing. When I know as an individual, there is a modification. A vritti in my mind, a thought in my mind. But when we say Atma is knowing, it does not include any modification. It is just consciousness in nature. Being consciousness in nature, it can be referred to as the knower. So in Bhagavad Gita also, Atma is shown to be avikriyaha, free from karatritva and free from bhoktritva also. So Bhashyakara shows how Bhagavan himself shows the avikriya swarupa of the Atma. Atma is not involved in any action as karta or bhokta. yatha atra means Gitayam, in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavata, by Bhagavan, क्रियाकारक फलात्मत्वाभावः आत्मनि आत्मनि क्रियाकारक फलात्मत्व अभावः Atma is free from kriyakaraka phala as his nature. Atmani kriyakaraka phalatmatvam nasti. Atma is not having kriya or karaka or phala as his nature. This is swataha eva darshitaha. This is shown by Bhagavan himself. Bhagavata swataha eva darshitaha. And avidyadhyaropita eva kriyakarakaadihi atmani upacharyate. All the kriyakaraka etc. they are avidyadhyaropita. They are superimposed by avidya. Avidyadhyaropitaha eva kriyakarakaadihi atmani upacharyate. It is upacharyate means adhyasyate. It is superimposed on Atma. The Ajnani attribute them to Atma. So tatha, so yatha Bhagavata eva darshitaha. Tatha, this fact, tatra tatra, here and there in Gita, ya enam vetti hantaram. He quotes some verses which indicate that the Atma is free from kriyakaraka bheda. Ya enam vetti hantaram yaschainam manyate hatam etc. Chapter 2. Prakriteh kriyamanani gunaih karmani sarvashaha. Chapter 2. Nadatte kasyachit papam इत्यादि प्रकारेषु दर्शितः इत्यादि प्रकरणेषु दर्शितः. It is shown in these prakaranas by Bhagavan in Gita. Tathaiva cha vyakhyatam asmabhihi, and even we have explained it in the same sense. And not only this much, even later on, similar things will be shown. Uttareshu cha prakaraneshu darshayishyamaha. Even in the following prakaranas, whenever the occasion arises, darshayishyamaha, we will show that. So Bhagavad Gita also talks about the nirvikara swarupa of the Atma. Therefore, Atmani samsaraha na asti. So then Pura Paksha. Hanta tarhi Atmani kriyakaraka phalatmatayaha स्वतः अभावे अविद्यया च अध्यारोपितत्वे कर्माणि अविद्वत्कर्तृकान्येव okay, avidvatkartavyanyeva na vidusham iti praptam. Yeah. So now Purva Pakshi is a little disturbed by hearing this. because the Purva Pakshi is a karma kandi. He has lot of attachment to karma, the Vedokta karma. So he expresses his sorrow. Hanta, alas, he is expressing his sorrow. Tarihi, then Atmani kriyakaraka phalatmatayaha swataha abhavi. If the Atma is free from kriyakaraka phalatmata, kriyakaraka phalatmatayaha. So kriya cha karakani cha phalam cha kriyakaraka phalani. Kriyakaraka phalani atma yasya saha kriyakaraka phalatma, whose nature is kriyakaraka phala. In whom kriyakaraka phala are intrinsically present is called kriyakaraka phalatma. Tasya bhavaha kriyakaraka phalatmata. So kriyakaraka phalatmata is not there in Atma swataha abhave. It is not really there. It is not intrinsically there in Atma. Then why do we identify as karta and bhokta, etc.? Avidyaya cha adhyaropitatve. It is avidyaya adhyaropita. It is superimposed by avidya. In that case, karmani avidvat kartavyanyeva. All the karmas are meant for avidvan. Only an avidvan is supposed to perform karma. Only an ajnani is supposed to perform karma. This is a very undesirable thing for a karmakandi to hear. That is why he says hanta. He is expressing his sorrow. Then Siddhanti says, it is true, you may feel bad, but the truth cannot be compromised with. We cannot reconcile to keep you happy. Sometimes nowadays people talk things to keep the other people happy. But we cannot compromise with the truth just for keeping the people happy. So, satyam evam praptam etadeva cha nahi deha bhrata shakyam ityatra darshayishyamaha. सर्वशास्त्रार्थोपसंहार प्रकरणे च समासेनैव कौन्तेय निष्ठा ज्ञानस्य या परा इत्यत्र विशेषतो दर्शयिष्यामः. अलमिह बहुप्रपंचेन इति उपसंह्रियते. Satyam, it is true. What you are saying is true. Evam praptam, this is the conclusion. This is what we have arrived at. Etadevacha, and if it is not clear to you still, then the same thing will be discussed again later on. Etadevacha, the same fact. Only an avidwan is supposed to do karma. It will be clarified, discussed further in some other context later on, where Bhashyakara tells नहि देहभृता शक्यम इत्यत्र नहि देहभृता शक्यम त्यक्तुम कर्माण्यशेषतः. While explaining this statement, darshayishyamaha, we will show, and later on, once again, sarvashastrarthopasamhara prakaranecha, at the fag end of 18th chapter, where the section is the culmination, the upasamhara, the conclusion of entire shastra. Sarvashastrartha upasamhara, the summing up and concluding of entire Gita Shastrartha. In that prakarana also, under the shloka samasenaiva kaunteya nishtha jnanasya yapara ityatra, there visheshato darshayishyamaha, we will show specially. Here we have already discussed for many pages. So Bhashyakara says, now we will stop this discussion for a while and continue the Gita. Alam iha bahu prapanchena, iha bahu prapanchena alam. Here too much of details is not needed, too much of expansion is not needed. Bahu prapancha means too much of expansion, making it too elaborate. Alam, bahu prapanchena alam. So this alam governs tritiya vibhakti. That is why tritiya. Bahu prapanchena alam. Let there be no too much of expansion. Iti upasamhriyate. With this idea, with this intention, upasamhriyate. Now it is concluded. The discussion is concluded here and we will continue further. Alam andre Vedanta. Let us stop. Enough. Yeah. Is a negation. Let there be no more. In that sense, alam is used. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.